Hi, my name is Claire, and my story is Amelia Saves Africa. Once upon a time, Amelia Earhart and her husband George saved the people in Africa. Here is how it started. Amelia Earhart and her husband George Earhart were driving to her personal airport. They got there and picked the perfect plane to fly in. They got in the big red plane and took off. "Wow, it's beautiful up here," yelled Amelia. "I think it looks amazing," insisted George. "I also think we should go to Africa and have lunch there," pointed out Amelia. George nodded excitedly. So she flew the plane around the United States, up into space, and into Africa. "It's dark here," exclaimed Amelia. George agreed. "It's way too dark for only 1:30 p.m. 1:30? We'd better hurry if we want to eat lunch," Amelia shouted while she flew the plane 60 miles per hour. They landed in Africa's private jet airport. They found a nice little restaurant and got seated. George asked if they had an English-speaking waiter. The English-speaking waiter came out. "My name is Stamkos, and I will be your waiter today." They told him what they wanted and waited patiently for their food. They saw a few people running outside, which they thought was weird. After a few minutes, they got their food. They ate their lunch and then traveled outside. They saw a huge crowd gathering at the end of the road. They walked over and asked the little boy what was happening. "What's going on here, little boy?" Amelia asked. The little boy's name was Dewey. "There's an enormous black cloud over there. He can talk, he has arms and legs, and he is scaring everybody with his evil laugh." The little boy led them through the crowd, and finally they saw it. It was gigantic and terrifying. It was tearing houses down. Amelia said thank you to the boy, then George and Amelia darted back to the plane, got in, and flew over the city. They flew not too high in the sky, but right over the tornado-like cloud. They looked left and right to find a military base. Finally, they found one south of the cloud. They landed on the runway and got out, asked to see the captain. They went to his office and sat down in front of him. He said, "Hello, my name is Captain Tuck. What may be your name, sir and miss?" "My name is Amelia Earhart, and this is my husband, George Earhart," declared Amelia. "Welcome to the military base, Mr. and Mrs. Earhart. What may be the problem?" replied Captain Tuck. "There is a gigantic cloud up north with hands and feet, and it can talk," instructed Amelia. "So would you mind coming with us to solve the problem?" Amelia asked. "I will do so right now. Let's go." So they all got into the plane and headed north. They showed him the cloud, and Captain Tuck had an idea. He always had a rope for a belt, so he took it off and told Amelia to get closer and circle around the cloud. Amelia did so, and he lassoed the cloud. He told her to go the opposite direction. She did, and the cloud fell backwards. He growled and kicked some more. Then the captain told Amelia that he would take the wheel and told them to lasso the cloud's feet and hands. Captain Tuck flew closer and closer while Amelia lassoed the cloud's feet. Amelia smiled a big smile when the crowd cheered. Captain Tuck dove again while George lassoed the cloud's hands. George smiled too when the crowd cheered. Then finally Captain Tuck and Amelia and George drove straight down a third time and flew right through the cloud. The cloud roared and suddenly vanished right before their eyes. The crowd down below shouted, screamed, and cheered, but this time it was a happy scream. The three landed safe and sound. When they landed, they heard a propelling sound like a helicopter. They all gasped and waited. They saw a helicopter. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh went the blades. It landed softly. The president walked out. Everybody cheered and whistled. "Let's thank these lovely people for saving Africa. Let's have a parade or a party. Let's celebrate," yelled Mr. President. Everyone cheered. They had a fantastic time. People were dancing, laughing, and singing. "This sure was the most amazing adventure," insisted Amelia. "Yes, it was. It sure was, Amelia," George said, hugging her. And that's the story of how Amelia saved Africa. The end.